his name either. I want to be careful. I said earlier when I was addressing the Shedeur Sanders that I'm not going to be bringing in other quarterbacks that are being drafted. I don't want my spit, words that are coming out of my mouth, to touch them in their happy day of being drafted. But in order to share the crime, the $40 million robbery that just took place of Shedeur Sanders, or should I say, I think the crime, the $50 million robbery of Shedeur Sanders, because that's what I just witnessed. And that's wow. I said a couple weeks ago when I was talking to you guys right here in the locker room, I talked about LeBron James and how much I appreciate how much he helped his son use his power, use his name to help his son. And yeah, it's nepotism, but it's in every aspect of this world, nepotism. And certainly littered throughout football. Every and anywhere you look, nepotism. Coaches bringing their sons in, the sons now being coordinators, or the sons becoming head coaches. In every way, Deion shook the system. In every way, Deion shook the system. Bypassed all of those systems that they have put in place to make sure they keep who they need on top. Deion went another route, and he's gotten to be a head coach. He took his sons with him, and he raised his sons right and did a great job raising his sons. Just like I said, LeBron did a great job raising his son. And with all the absentee African-American fathers that we have had, so say the numbers, I can only go by what I read or get, because I can't go out there and count everybody, because every time I say these numbers, they say, well, Michael, those numbers are wrong, and they may, and I can believe that, because what I see now, a lot of information we've been getting forever has been wrong. But I also hear enough from friends that I have about fathers not being in their lives. So we are all real sensitive, and we have heightened awareness when we see a father and son carefully put together and doing great things together, especially in our community. I was happy for LeBron. But I told y'all with the LeBron and Stephen A thing that LeBron had done a wonderful job. Now it's time to let his son go prove to the world how wonderful of a job he's done. And there's certain things you can't protect your son against. And now he's in the NBA, people are going to talk about it. The Shedeur Sanders situation is similar. Except LeBron, in the place he was in, was able to exert his influence to help his son. And Deion, the place he was in, he had done all he could do to help his son. Now, I don't know if somehow Deion would have hopped over to the NFL. Maybe he could have done more on that side. But I don't think Deion needed to do anything more to get Shedeur Sanders drafted. Everywhere we've seen, everything we've seen, everybody that has seen him play said he is the one or two in this draft. One or two in this draft class. And the truth of the matter is, for Shedeur not to go 1 or 2, 3 or 4, but in the 5th round, and after All the quarterbacks. After five quarterbacks. That's mind-blowing. And I said it last time, and I got to say it again. That math ain't mathy. And you can tell me what you want to tell me. You can say what you want to say. You can talk like you want to talk. But that math won't ever math. Now here comes the real thrill of this whole story. Just like Ronnie, Shedeur now is in a place where Dion can't go. And Dion can't protect. I loved Cleveland picking this kid early on. But I can be mad at Cleveland if they played the cards and picked him up in the 5th round and saved $50 million. Maybe in their minds, they figured they tricked off that money to Deshaun, so they got to trick it back off of Shedeur. You can't be mad at them because he was still there in the 5th round. But I surely would like to know how they knew he would still be there in the 5th round. I surely would like to know, with the value placed on quarterbacks, I don't care if you had a star quarterback, if you have a Patrick Mahomes or anybody, you don't leave this kind of talent in the draft. You would take a quarterback and say, let me just hold him, somebody get a quarterback hurt. I could take him in the 3rd or 4th round. I could have taken him in the 3rd or 4th round, and I guarantee you, right now, if everybody's working together because we want to teach them a lesson, that's one thing. But somebody goes down in week 1 or in the preseason, and the head coach's job's on the line, he didn't make it a damn phone call. Can I get that quarterback, please? I'll give you something for him. You know, so the value of quarterbacks, even if you had a quarterback, and once I get that 3rd, 4th round, I'm going to take a guy anyway. And nobody did. Nobody did. So it's a lot on this plate and a lot that we have to try to break down that happened. And this thing I told you ain't going anywhere for a while. Cleveland, let me tell you, I'm just going to say this. Because Cleveland had just drafted the quarterback ahead of him, okay? And then when they came back around, Cleveland was sitting in the room, and man, when they sent up the card, they showed the face of people of Cleveland, and nobody was like, we got him, we did it. You know, I know it's in the 5th round, and you don't get that kind of excitement, but they were like, you know, okay. I myself, who's not a conspiracy theorist, not crazy about beliefs in conspiracies and all of that, started saying, whoa, does it look like somebody told them they have to get in there and draft Shedeur? I was wondering, why would you want to, if you're Cleveland, to bring that in? Do you know the kind of mess you have now? You got a Deshaun Watson situation, Flacco, all of this in your locker room. All of this in your quarterback room. 2 rookies. And all the time, everybody's going to be asking you, what's going on with Shedeur Sanders? What's going on with Shedeur Sanders? What's going on with Shedeur Sanders? Why would Cleveland do that? I'm not going to lie. I felt like, because when I'm watching the draft and I see the way they acted I've done many drafts. I saw how everybody starts positioning and getting in place. Like, oh God, this might be the pick. No. They were telling people this was the pick. So they told all the cameras, everybody, that's what it looked like. This is the pick. Here it is. Shedeur Sanders about to go off the board. Oh, really? I've been on that stage for years and years and years, emceeing the draft. Emceeing it. The one telling you, next pick is in. The pick is in. Talking to the people. I started it. I've never seen them position the cameras, that position, give forewarning about who's about to be drafted so everybody can position themselves.